the Orianna as well as the Lee Sin. I do like, we haven't seen a Lee Sin today. I do like having a Lee Sin. It gives you a lot of that early game potential, especially for tower dives, especially for those early ganks. Also can be a bit of a ball delivery system for JDG as well.
Yeah, definitely one of the more classic ball delivery systems. Although with the amount of possible Lee Sin plays, that is just one of the things that can be utilized. It's more likely we'll see once attempting to try to get an insect, not an insect, but an insect with a C. It is just the most effective Lee Sin play that is possible. Just getting behind somebody, either the Lucian or possibly the Vladimir if he doesn't have the reaction to Blood Pool, kicking him over to the other side. Also, whatever jungler that FPX pick here is a good possibility. The bans also for JDG are kind of focused towards Xingdao 7, at least for this one. They banned out his Jace from the last game. He did do quite a bit of damage there. He did the most damage in the game. So they want to keep that option away from him with those accelerated shock blasts.
Yeah. We might see another jungle ban from JDG here. There is not a huge preference to ban out supports. Both Ornn and Gragas are still available in other games, in other series. We've seen those two as a priority in the first round of picks and bans, but for both JDG and FPX, they have put a lot less priority on both of those. Grabbing the Ornn again in the hands of FPX, we have seen them play this really, really well, especially Chow getting a lot of attention from the members of JDG. I hope JDG does not repeat the mistakes from game 1 therein they don't have a decent way to burn through the tanks. Zeri would be a good direction towards that.
Yeah, she is definitely one of the ways to melt through heavily armored targets, being Ornn and possibly Renekton if he doesn't go the bruiser route, but still, the HP is going to start stacking. The only problem is that there is a lot of ways to kind of catch that Zeri out here. With the Ornn, with the Renekton, at least there's a Gragas there to keep that disruption, to keep her safe. But I wonder what the jungle is going to be here. Xingdao 7, his options are a little limited, but the Kha'Zix still a great possibility. A very FPX pick.
Yeah, I like the Kha'Zix. It enhances this engage coming from FPX if they're able to catch members with the Ornn, and then both the Vladimir and the Kha'Zix goes into the fight. They'll be able to catch members of JDG, instantly delete them with the amount of damage that the Vladimir and the Kha'Zix has. I'm looking at JDG, and one of the things that Zeri is really good at is absorbing engage. If she's able to stay alive, kite out some of the members that will be jumping on top of her, she's able to deal so much damage back, and then she'll be able to push back. Essentially, it's like she's like not actually a trampoline is the analogy I'm thinking right now, but you can basically get the point. She needs to absorb the impact and then bounce it back to the enemy team. But the thing is with the JDG, so this comp, I feel like they might not have the tank line to be able to accomplish that effectively. It's going to be harder for them to make those kinds of plays. One good indicator of that is if Feibai is able to catch the Vladimir, the Kha'Zix, and the Renekton as they go in with a good shockwave, that would be a good indicator for JDG in these team fights to win those fights.
Yeah, and speaking of winning those fights, if FPX wins this game, they will be winning the match and keeping their spot at the top 3 in the CN conference. All they got to do is get past JDG one more time, as the pressure is on.
Definitely, the pressure is going to be on JDG here as we get to the game 2 of this best of 3 series. One more loss for JDG will seed this series towards FPX, giving FPX a bit more of a lead in the top of the standings. Well, for JDG, they would really need to win these games to solidify their spot in the playoffs. But once here, going for an early red trinket, clearing away division, he wants to get the red side quadrant jungle believe FPX, or no, it's just trying to spot out the Kha'Zix I think.
Very interesting decision. But I feel like, yeah, he is just going to counter jungle. The Kha'Zix is going to be stuck on the other side of his own jungle. A little bit of possible vertical jungling coming up here. Yeah, I don't think, though, that Shingdao7 is aware. Well, he's going to be aware now that Lemon has given it away. So he at least knows to possibly go towards the red buff here for that steal. Dawn has to be incredibly careful though, because Once is around.
Yeah. We'll see if there's gonna be any opening for Dawn, for Once to go on Dawn, but it doesn't seem like it. While Shingdao is now looking towards this bot side quadrant of the map. He's gonna also go for the vertical jungle, as you mentioned. Just also a reminder to our viewers that JDG was able to do that because of Feibai having that Orianna, but actually they're being chased down the river.
Yeah, and Once is ready to skirmish. Lee Sin in the early game is not a champion that you really want to 1v1 or go up against in a decent manner, but this is looking like a 4v4. Good knock up there from Chao, and then Kong dashes in there. Shingdao7 in the fight. Once flashes and tries to get onto Chao, trying to finish off that kill. Can he actually get one more auto attack? Yeah, it's going to be Zeri though who finishes him off for first blood.
Yeah, and JDG proving your point earlier, right? And how Lee Sin is stronger in the early game. You're gonna see here in this replay, they were able to catch out Orianna, but there was no follow-up from FPX. Only Kong was the one who immediately reacted to that knock-up by Sky and Shingdao. They weren't in any position to be able to take advantage of that knock-up from Shao. There's a bit of an overextension for him. Great punish from JDG. They're able to take first blood of that.
Great first blood there for JDG. All they have to do now is hold on to the momentum, because that is what they were doing in the last game. However, if they're not able to do it now, that would be a tragedy. Now, here is the attempted steal coming in from Shingdao7. He does get it at the very least. Lemon spots him out though. So at least the Kha'Zix didn't start, you know, a buff behind, but it's still not where Shingdao7 wants to be at this point in the game.
Definitely. He would actually mid lane.
This is where he wants to be in the point of the game, at mid lane with Sky FL. Outplay just barely not killing Feibai thanks to the honey fruit, the savior fruit.
Yeah, and I think Sky thought that he's gonna die. That damage is enough, and there was like this magic pixel for the Orianna, not preventing her to die, and then immediately picking up the honey fruit, just essentially saving her at that point. Barry.
Oh, the coming in onto Barry. There is the actually onto two. Call of the Forge God. Max and Barry taking quite a bit of damage. FPX showing their willingness to throw down here in the bot lane.
Yeah, using two ultimates in exchange for no ultimates. Once is going in here against FPX.
And Once is just going to kick them back. This is going to be very bad for Kong as he gets immediately bursted down. Now Chao trying to run away. Barry will be gifted another kill here. That's 3-0 already, but on the other side of the map, Lemon gotta get Dove, going to get Dominus and sliced and diced.
Yeah, great answer from FPX, but on the other hand, this was a mistake coming in here from FPX. Great gank coming from Once, knowing that both Chao and Kong expended their ultimates. They don't really have a lot of fight back in them, and 4 members of JDG immediately going for the punish in the bot lane, gifting 2 more kills in favor of JDG. This feels a bit like game 1 again. JDG having a clear advantage in the early game. FPX is still in this. There's no point yet wherein you can say FPX is very much behind. But when it comes to this Lucian being 2 kills down against a Zeri, it just means that he won't be able to bully this Zeri as much as he would have if this was an even game.
That's true. That's very true. But speaking of bullying, Shingdao7 wants to do a little bit of bullying out the Feibai. There is a huge burst coming in from both Shingdao7 and his buddy Sky FL. So good stuff there. That's exactly what the Kha'Zix wants to be doing. Another kill, trying to equalize the score up. The gold is pretty much dead even, but Once wants to secure this Rift Herald.
Yeah. Right now it's being started right here. Call of the Forge God.
Yeah, calling for a shot onto one, but Max is exhausted. He will not be able to join the fight all too long, although no steal here. They sacrifice the Renekton. Max actually still is alive, buried, laying down the law there, laying down the auto attack so that FPX really couldn't contest that too much.
Yeah. FPX tried to contest, tried to stop that Herald while the Kazakhs was getting the Dragon on the other end, and that was started because they were able to pick off the Orianna. Xingdo was able to do that. Lemon though, no mana.
Yep, Lemon has 0 mana. Xingdo doesn't need it. So Lemon will be forced to flash, go for the Honey Fruit, and then get back into the lane as Xingdo 7 once again jumps in. Look at that isolation damage. Do not be alone versus a Kha'Zix. That is what happens. You almost died. Now in the bot lane though, SkyFL looking for maybe just to defend this turret, but he is going to get doped here. 0 vision there in the jungle. He didn't know that once was going to be there. Now once actually misses the Sonic Wave. Unfortunately, there's a Gala Forge out to just dissuade them from aggressing onto the mid laner, while the Rift Herald will take down that tower.
A great dodge right there from Sky, dodging from that Sonic Wave, essentially giving himself a lease on life. Now though, with the blue buff being contested here by JDG, FPX is able to defend it well, while Shelly does not get a second tackle on the turret. Stabilize the early game has been for FPX. Yes, there's a bit of a gold lead right now for JDG, but FPX can or will be able to take it back as long as they take down a couple of turrets from this side of JDG. So far, FPX in a better position than they were in game 1 in terms of this early game.
Yeah, a much better position. Considering that they are still behind, they're honestly not that much behind at this point. It's not insurmountable whatsoever, especially with the proactive plays that they've been doing. Look at Feibai, once again the target for Xingdo 7. This man just wants to keep that Orianna underfed and keep her away from the tower, which I feel like is a very valid strategy when a lot of JDG's damage does hint on that Orianna shockwave going hard.
Yeah, also Xingdo is actually evolving the ultimate second here when it comes to the second evolution, so that gives him more stealth, which he has been utilizing pretty effectively. We did see earlier on in the bot lane, he was able to use that to assassinate the Orianna, and I think that's what he did again in the mid lane to put her down. It's such a tough spot when you're squishy, especially when you're a control mage, and the assassin just keeps coming back to you. It essentially stops you from playing the game and from scaling better into this game. But Xingdo 7 again utilizes itself in bot side at the top side.
Yep, as Xingdo 7 just comes in and tries to go for just a little bit. Oh, but SkyFL actually solo kill on the backside. Speaking of the backside, Dawn 128 is on the back of ones, and now SkyFL comes in with the Hextech Proto Belt, and then Chao coming in trying to knock them up. Xingdo 7 barely doesn't get that kill. Max with 1 HP is able to get out of there, but it does feel like the tables have turned this early on.
Yeah, we are about to approach the 9-minute mark. The gold lead has gone decisively towards the side of FPX, and just a pick right here from Sky, knowing that Feibai will be rotating to the top side, trying to help out his team immediately. Going to that brush, just waiting for the Orianna to come close, and this could have gone worse from JDG. Fortunately for them, the Call of the Forge God is already on cooldown, so there was not much follow-up that FPX can do other than flashing and trying to deal more damage.
Yeah, that would have been that would have been an okay play, but maybe to save the resources is better instead of looking for more kills. Right now they're playing a little bit slower game, as you said, and it is kind of paying off for FPX here. Though once is going to be the one to start this Drake, and the rest of JDG is going to be there. There is that Horn, swing and a miss, unfortunately.
Yeah, swing and a miss, but that is a crucial ultimate right now down for FPX, while this Dragon has started by JDG. SkyFL!
Oh, the dive! SkyFL, what are you doing? So aggressive how to dive Barry. That means that your team only has 4 members, but that doesn't matter because JDG only has 4 members. 2 flashes for Dawn and Shingdao7 to get over the wall, and then they re-engage onto Lemon, who's forced to flash away from them himself. It's still a 5v4, but JDG are looking to maybe catch somebody here, maybe the Vladimir. He's got a blood pool, and he's got to get out of there stat. As Lemon is in the middle of the Dragon Pit, getting to steal it. It's actually stolen right by once. Well done.
Yeah.
And then he sacrifices life for it too.
Yeah. Only one guy sacrificing for a Dragon Seed. I mean, yeah, one guy that died earlier from JDG, but FPX trying to force the issue here.
Yep, and forcing the issue will be the Oriana going down first. Look at those very low health bars. FPX have to retreat now. Chow is on the back foot. Dawn is getting chased. The tides have turned once again. Shingdao7 though, he's looking for an isolated target. He gets Max. Lemon with 0 mana will not be trying to fight the cockroach and the crocodile.
Yeah. The prolonged fight, FPX still gets the advantage. We're able to get a couple of kills, but JDG able to steal away a dragon, essentially takes out the sole threat from FPX. But yeah, as you see in this replay right here, FPX going a bit too deep on that tower. This could have gotten worse for them, but they were able to get away. And in this isolated 2v2, Dawn and Shingdao was just able to get one more kill against Max. Lemon that did not have any mana, as you mentioned. He can't help. There is support essentially left for dead right there, and FPX with a 2k gold lead has so much momentum on their side. Yeah,
they really need to make use of this momentum as soon as possible. Yeah, they have like 1.7 but almost 2,000 gold lead, but if JDG are still meeting them fight for fight and being very proactive, then that becomes a lot less valuable for FPX. They need to either leverage this and step up that gold lead generation, or they can wait for objectives and just try to go for those instead by either baiting fights or baiting JDG into fights that are unfavorable for them inside the pits.
Yeah, we'll see if that will be the case. By again.
Shingdao7. The count would be enough to take him down. Didn't even need the Call of Forge God, but Skyfell may need a little bit of help here. So he goes up against Once and Barry. He will be able to heal himself up. But the rest of FPX, they are taking this tower down slowly but surely. That's what they need to do. They need to leverage their small lead and intimidate JDG. You can see they're chasing Once away from his own jungle.
Yeah, good flash from Kong. Staying safe from the body slam of Max. That gives FPX now more control over this mid lane by destroying the turret. Also popping down wards immediately, but SkyFL doesn't have his ultimate.
Yeah, he does have the blood pool, however, and his buddy Shingdao7. It's going to be Lemon to take him out. And will they be able to survive a 4v5? They kick the crocodile away. As Dawn, it is going to be a front to back now. Chow, unfortunately, I don't think he'll be able to get. No, he does get it. But Once just gets away barely with 1 HP. This fight does go to JDG, but the gold lead still is in FPX's hands. Lemon, they are still hungry for more, perhaps looking for maybe Dawn. They want to get an objective for themselves, so this tower could be it.
Yeah, it could be this tower. Dawn's trying to defend it as best as he can.
He's trying, but he's failing, unfortunately. Big dive. But Shingdao7 and Kong coming in a little bit late to the party. He's gonna get shockwaved for the kill, and just like that, JDG starting to climb back into the seat here.
Yeah, I was thinking earlier on that, Fei Bai, he's just been put behind so many times. He's been killed so many times by FPX, but still, the damage from the Oriana is slowly scaling as we get into the later parts of this game. The Zeri, we saw earlier, had a 303 scoreline, so this Zeri is also scaling pretty well. Yeah, we can look at the gold right now. Barry is up 2 when it comes to the gold for this whole game. So this Zeri is no joke right now. It's scaling pretty well for JDG. Right now, FPX needs to lock down, needs to get this Zeri to be able for them to win these fights, because if this Zeri is just left alone free hitting, it's just been melting through the health bars of every FPX member.
Yeah, not only that, they need to really step up their playmaking, because Right now, JDG are the ones who are dictating the map movements, even though the gold lead is towards FPX. And there's a Call of the Forge God onto one. They will not stop Lemon from getting the smite there, and they will, or sorry, not Lemon, but Once from getting the smite there. And suddenly the tables have turned. They weren't able to finish off that kill, and now JDG are the ones who are chasing.
Yeah, JDG is chasing down 5 members of FPX with only 4 members. The Fiora did go for the recall. I thought she was going to keep pushing the bot side of the map, but now FPX is trying to threaten this Baron, knowing there's only 4 members of JDG here, but JDG feels so confident right now.
Yeah, JDG, they have so much going for them. Look at that Sonic Wave percentage. He's going to go for maybe the end tech. But, oh, look at that. The health bars are getting shredded, but Kong is able to get away with a flash. So is Dawn. Great attempt there from JDG, but FPX were a little bit ready for that.
Yeah, FPX was ready for it. JDG now starting off this Baron. They have a couple of wards. They know where FPX is going to be coming from as this Baron is burning down so fast.
Yeah, and that Baron is going to be gone in just a second. The triumphs will be to... Nobody's actually focusing on the Baron now. JDG's health are dropping. Shingdao 7, he's going to be the one who focuses on the Baron, takes it, and gets the ace for JDG for FPX, and then they will battle down the mid with Baron up minions.
Oh no, that was a disaster from JDG. Now with minions, 5 members of FPX, they can end this game.
They will end this game. I don't think the death timers are short enough for anybody to be up by the time this Nexus falls, and that's exactly right. That's exactly what's gonna happen. It did look for a second like JDG was climbing back into the driver's seat, but then FPX said, "No way! You try to go for this Baron, and we will end you."
Yeah, and I think JDG is as shocked as we are with that turn of events. It's just too quick. Too fast. JDG felt like they were about to secure the Baron, but they weren't able to put enough damage. There was still 2,000 HP left. FPX was able to turn on it. Shingdao 7 was so